Shalom, Israel. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops at Great Millstone. And peace and salutations and peace and mercy to the prophets, the hopeful elect, the 144,000, and to the men and women of the 12 lost tribes of Israel. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Shalom. Back with another lesson. I'll title this one, Son of Man have nowhere to lay his head. Son of Man have nowhere to lay his head. Call halal Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Call halal Yimla, Allahayinawa, Abanawa, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. And something that's on my spirit, and as the title reads, Son of Man hath nowhere to lay his head. And, you know, in this end, you know, the Lord told you that perilous times shall come. Perilous times. And you know, with this draconian, tyrannical government that's being set up. And the Lord told you, they shall persecute me. They're going to persecute you. Right? They shall persecute me. They're going to persecute you. So if you plan to serve the Lord, you're going to be persecuted. Ultimately, the Lord's people. This happened already in times past, but we're coming into the end here. This is the final captivity of the Lord's people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. This is the final captivity. And we're going through the Great Tribulation, which is Jacob's trouble. And we see what's happening. Because this is prophecy, because judgment is going to start with the Lord's people. And we know a good majority of our people, 2/3 are going to be judged because of all the idol worship, of all the adultery, the idolatry, you know, physically and spiritually. So judgment is going to start with the Lord's people. 2/3 of them, and then on down to the other nations, starting with Esau, Edom, the so-called white folks who are in rulership, and on down to the other nations. But right now, you know, there's homelessness, and we know, you know, this is a big problem here in the U.S. because it tells you in Jeremiah, the 51st chapter, that the Lord shall send fanners unto Babylon. You know, crisis after crisis after crisis. This is what's coming. And, you know, the poor, man. You know, the poor, and we know a good majority of Jake, you Hebrew Israelites, you tribes, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, you know, you're living below poverty level. You know, and you got some of the other nations that are in there, but trials and tribulations. This is what's coming. Homelessness. They're getting ready to cut. It's coming. It's inevitable. It's inevitable about them slashing, you know, this Section 8. You know, they're telling you already. Your governmental resources for help. This is coming. So, faith. You know, faith. You're going to have to step out on faith. You know, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, the Savior, the Deliverer, you know, was a rich man. who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ, he was wealthy at one time, but he became poor because he understood the mission. Same thing with Moses. Moses forsook all the riches and fame and glory in the first Egypt to come and do the work of the Lord and to help deliver his people out of bondage and slavery. See? Let me go here. This will be a quick hit, man. And in this end, a lot of our people, they're gonna have to, because you have a lot of Jakes that have, they're in Esau, they're in his job forces, and they got great jobs and different high positions in Esau's, the so-called white folks, job force, man. In these different top high job positions. But that time is coming with that, especially with that mark. That RFID, that micro C-hip, where you're going to have a choice. The Lord tell you too, he that seeketh to save his life shall lose it, and those that lose their life for the Lord's sake shall live, shall be preserved. Now, we know that we have our day-to-day jobs right now. We do what we can. If we can to gain a little extra change or, to help, cool. But outside of that, the time is coming where you're going to have to make a choice. You're going to have to make a choice and be ready to forsake all of that. Let me go here. Because it tells you, too, how much better in Proverbs, the 16th chapter, how much better is it to get wisdom than gold. Let me go here. This will be a super quick hit. It's just time to make a choice, man. You don't got too much more longer. Romans 8 and 18, and it reads, Romans 8 and 18, and it reads, it says now when Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI saw great multitudes, Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, he had big crowds that follow him. It says saw great multitudes about him, he gave commandment to depart unto the other side. Because the Lord was doing miracles, man. He was doing miracles, healing the sick, rising the dead, giving sight to the blind, giving sound to the deaf. This is Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, the Holy Mashiach. This says 19, it says, and a certain scribe came and said unto him, Master, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest. See? And this same thing with Jake, they want to be down, man. They see all the fame and power. They right along with the other nations, they want to be down. They see it. They want to be a part of it. They seen all these miracles and the Lord's bringing out this truth and, the way he moved. It says the man told him, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest. The Lord, he told Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, I want to, wherever you go, I'm going to seek you. I'm going to follow you. I want to be with you. And this is where it is in this end. See? Same thing in this end. Right? Same thing in this end. You claim that you seek and save the Lord, that you seek and serve the Lord, and that you're already saved. Oh, you about to be put to the test. You can't just speak it. You're going to have to show it. I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest. Oh, okay. It says 20, it says, and Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI said unto him, foxes have holes, the foxes have dens, and the birds of the air have nests. This is what Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI was telling that man. You want to follow me? The foxes have dens, and the birds of the air, they have nests. But the Son of Man hath nowhere to lay his head. See, the Lord was homeless. The Lord was homeless. All he cared about was speaking his word and bringing his truth out. That's it. He understood the mission. And all of this money, and all of this homes, the mansions, the cars, this whole lifestyle is vanity. It's going to pass away. It's going to pass away. The Lord said his word abideth forever. Call halal Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. But the Son of Man hath nowhere to lay his head. If you are serving the Lord, you better be prepared to be homeless. Period. You're going to lose all your possessions. Job, home, car. If you are planning to serve Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, man or woman, if you are following the Holy Mashiach, you better be prepared to lose everything. Apostle Tahar told us to you need to invest in a tent. Invest in a tent. Because it's finna go there, man. Right now here in California, out there in San Jose, the Bay Area, the South Bay, the mayor is pushing, you know, either you're going to get treatment and help and go into shelter, or you will be jailed. Ain't no more sleeping on the street. Ain't no more sleeping on private property and all of that. You're going into treatment. So they're clearing and they're setting up these camps too, tent camps and, you know, shelters and detention centers. This is where it's finna go. You ain't no more sleeping on the streets. You ain't got too much long of that. And that's where we know ultimately it's gonna be pushed to the mark, which is spoken about Revelation the 13th chapter, where no man can buy or sell. And that you know, Revelation 2 and 10. You know, a lot of us are going to be jailed in prison, ultimately for this word and standing up for the truth. We know this is where this is going to go. It says 21. It says, and another of his disciples said unto him, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. It says 22. It says, but Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI said unto him, follow me, and let the dead bury the dead spiritually. You know, we ain't got time for all of this, man. We're on a mission. We're on a mission to serve the Holy Mashiach. And in this end, you can't be attached to nothing in this life. Yeah, if you got a wife, if you're a man, you got you're a woman, you got a husband, you know, you're trying to do the right thing. But the time is coming where all of that's about to be put on the line. And nothing is more important than salvation. And just getting ready to forsake everything. Period. Getting ready to forsake everything. Because the Lord told you, those that forsake everything on this side for me, He's promised you 100-fold in the kingdom. That means he's gonna, whatever you forsake for him in this end, we're trying to do the right thing, work, take care of our family, you know, yeah. You know, but the time is coming. The Lord is finna, you know, he's drawing the line in the sand that you either coming with me or you gonna seek to save your life. That means you're going to try to hold on to whatever you got on this side. And you're going to end up losing it and turning against the Lord. But those that forsake everything in the end here, for my sake, because the pressure, the heat is on. And it's going to get so turned up out here that you're going to have to make a choice. And we know that sea hip is coming. You're going to have to make a choice soon. And the Lord told you, those that take that sea hip, you're going to be destroyed. And He's going to put a grievous sore on you, a sickness. He's going to torment you. He's going to torment you. So, just be prepared. Be prepared to be homeless, man. But the Lord going to make a way for His elect, those that stand up for Him and that give up everything. He going to make a way. He's going to make a way. He promised that. Shalom.